right, first we'll start off with a description of the Business Expansion Program. First off, the Business Expansion Program is an employment growth program aimed at identifying and qualifying high-impact projects for local, domestic, and international businesses seeking to grow or relocate to Austin and bolster their workforce. The Business Expansion Program is a pay-for-performance program that pays out annually to approved projects that meet annual compliance. In order to participate in this program, there are general eligibilities. There are also specific category eligibilities. So first, we'll start with the general eligibilities to participate in the Business Expansion Program. The first is that everyone employed in the Austin facility office will be needing to make the living wage. The current living wage, as determined by the City of Austin, is $21.63 an hour. That wage can go up yearly. It goes up in October with the budget cycle for the city. The next item is that all employees, their domestic partners, and any children in that family must have access to health coverage. When we talk about health coverage, there is a wide range of ways that health coverage can be considered, and we are happy to discuss individual questions around health coverage or how you may facilitate health coverage for employees. It is not a requirement that you pay all premiums, all co-pays, all that. Additionally, we must know what your but-for or inducement statement is. What this is you telling the City of Austin, but for this incentive, we would not be able to do X being moved to Austin, expand our operations in Austin, hire this level of person, hire these historically disadvantaged people, be covering health insurance. There's a wide array of what the but-for statement may be. And again, we are happy to work with your company to discuss how the but-for statement works. You must also be located within the Austin taxing jurisdiction. So if you are in an ETJ, if you are in Round Rock, you're in Buda, anywhere along those lines. If Austin property tax is not being taken out of a property bill, unfortunately, you do not qualify for this program. That does not mean you have to own the property. You may be leasing the property. As long as the person you are leasing the property from is paying City of Austin property tax, you are eligible for this program. And lastly, one of the things that makes Austin's economic incentive unique is that we have a community benefits portion to our application. We are very excited for all companies to come to Austin and open up and expand and create new jobs. However, for the incentive, in order to achieve the full amount of the incentive, we do look to see that the company is contributing to the community in other ways. And we'll get into those other ways in a moment. The targeted community benefits that we look for fall into 5 main categories. We look at things like the hiring and talent development. What are your programs to help promote people within your company? Where are you looking to hire your talent from? Are you working with specific recruiters that are going in to work with people that maybe don't have a 4-year college degree? Are you working with formerly incarcerated people? Wide range of things that may fall into that area. We look at your diversity, inclusion, and equity, how you're helping to facilitate a more inclusive environment in your company. We look to see what your local connection is, meaning, how are you working with the schools around you, community groups around you? Are you, going into the elementary school and reading to kids for a couple hours? Are you volunteering time at the food bank? Are you bringing internships from high school students in? There's a whole plethora of ways to be connecting with your community. Another area we look towards is civic engagement. And under this one, again, we're looking at, different civic organizations you may participate in. as well as things like, do you give your employees 2 hours off to go vote uh, on election day? Those, those type of areas. And last but not least, we have sustainable business practices. The city of Austin has a list of different areas that you can sign on to or participate in to demonstrate that you are helping to have sustainable business practice. Items such as having a composting program or a recycling program at your facility are just a few examples. So how does this program work? How do you receive funding? So this funding is a reimbursement program. There is no cash up front. Uh, in other words, you will make your performance on an agreed upon schedule. And after we've done our compliance process, you will then receive the agreed upon amounts for those positions that you hired over that year. Typically, our contracts are 5 to 10 years. So what this means is you say, Haley, we are going to be hiring over the next 5 years. We're looking at 20 jobs. We are going to hire 4 people a year over the next 4 years. You can choose we'll work with you to choose an award amount. You can either go a per job amount or a per property tax amount. You hire those 4 people. You then complete or 4 employment positions. You then complete your compliance. Then a check arrives to you for the agreed upon amount. So in total, we say it's about 18 months from the time of contract signature to that first check appearing from the program. The award amounts are up to $3,000 per employment position. And then there's also the option for a reimbursement on your property tax. This is specifically the city of Austin portion of your property tax. If you've looked at your property tax bill recently, you will have seen city of Austin, uh, the AISD, Travis County, and transportation tax on your property tax bill. We can only reimburse from the city of Austin portion. And of that city of Austin portion, we can only reimburse up to 75%. Now, when I say things like up to 3,000 and up to 75%, how do I mean that? This is where the community benefits portion of our application comes in. So, you're hiring the required amount of jobs for the categories. Great. You will qualify for the minimum amount for the award. But then we start adding in points for all of the community benefits that your company is participating in.
I have a quick question. Is there going to be a time for questions at the end or in between any of the slides by any chance?
There will be at the end. I do ask that everybody please submit their questions in the chat box, and then I will look at the chat box at the end of the session or at the end of my presentation. Apologies, it's hard for me to switch back and forth between the chat box while I'm presenting. So that is how the funding will work on the award eligibility. So now we'll get into our categories. So business expansion program, overarching program, and then within that we have 3 different categories. The first category is our local small business growth category. This category is for companies with 100 employees or less. The business must have been operational in the city of Austin for at least 12 months or has been displaced out of Austin within the last 24 months and will be returning to the city of Austin proper participate in this program. Businesses will need to increase their full-time employment count by a minimum of 10% with a minimum creation of 1 full-time job. So as this program is 100 employees or less, a minimum of 1 to 10 jobs would need to be being created. If you're creating more, great. We will consider that and count that towards the award. These are the minimums. And then also we recognize that for certain industries, the living wage requirements may not be accessible write-off, and that part of your incentive may be going towards uh, achieving that living wage. How that works is we do have a deferment period available. So what would happen is you would come to me before you make your first hire, before you sign that lease, whatever the case is, and say, hey, this is our plan. We're not quite at the wage level yet. We still have you complete the application, and then we would work with you to find out at what point are you going to have the wage up to the city's living wage. We have courses available through our small business division that will be available, as well as mentoring as a way to help you um, strategize ways to get your all employees up to that 21.63 an hour. We will count the jobs that are hired during this time. However, the funding will not be provided until all employees are at the city's living wage. So to provide an example of what this might look like, a local eatery is looking to expand their operations, the new location. They're looking at places in Austin, but they're also looking at places around Bastrop or Buda or Round Rock to open that second location. The eatery currently rents out their space, and will be looking to rent out their new space. However, they're going to need to spend capital to make this new space function as an eatery. Uh, in order to staff the new location, they will be looking to hire 20 new positions over the next 5 years. This eatery is known within the community for paying a living wage and having benefits for their employees, as well as facilitating activities that are of community benefit. Because of all of these things that this eatery is doing, they did qualify for the full $3,000 per employment position over 5 years. Um, and so in this case, in year one, they hired 10 new employees or employment positions. Got to get that eatery off the ground. So they hired 10 employment positions, which would mean after the compliance period was completed, $30,000 would be sent to the company for their hires. And then that would continue on as we had worked out in the contract based on, again, however many employees were hired, however many years. Our next category is our large business expansion and relocation. This category is for any business that is greater than 100 employees, be it local to Austin or moving into the Austin area. Businesses will need to increase their full-time employment count by a minimum of 10%. As companies get larger and we're looking at a total employment count across global operations of 10, 20, 30,000 employees, we do cap at 75 employees to contribute or to be part of this program. We don't, it can get difficult to be hiring 10% of your workforce if you have 50,000 people globally. Uh, Businesses will be in this category required to invest a minimum of $2 million in real and or personal property improvements to the space that they expand into. Um, and additionally, we do work with the business to make sure that they are demonstrating business growth and stability via a business plan. So in this example, this is an Austin headquartered company with 200 employees. They are looking at expanding their operations, with Austin being one of the potential location options. The company will need to be acquiring new space as well as new machinery that will be well over $2 million, and again, hiring at least 20 people over the term of their contract. The company, however, only provides limited community benefits besides those that are required, such as living wage and health benefits. As a result, the company only uh, is awarded 50% of their property tax over the 5 years. So kind of look at those numbers. In year one of the award, their total property tax was $861,000, of which the city of Austin portion is $207,000. And at 50%, their total award for year one would be $103,500. And when it comes to those award amounts, we will work with you to determine what is the best option for you. We are not going to just automatically put you at the lower amounts. Again, it will be what makes the most sense based on your business. Lastly, category 3 is our apprenticeship utilization category. This category can be used in partnership with category 1 or category 2. For this category, however, the award is only up to $1,000 per full-time apprentice, and these contracts will only last for 3 years. For this category, in order to be eligible, businesses must commit to one or more apprenticeships, and the individuals that are participating in the apprenticeship utilization category must be an Austin resident. We have a Texas residency form that we have you complete to ensure that they are a resident of Austin properly. So in this example, company A is looking to hire 6 apprentices for the 3 years at their manufacturing company. These apprentices will be provided with on-the-job training and knowledge to help them grow. So in total, the company will receive $6,000 during that 3 years that they are having those 6 apprentices in place. And so the next steps when it comes to this program is our program guidelines are at that link. I also sent over this link in the email this afternoon. Please review them on our business page or our business incentives page. There is an inquiry form. We do ask that you submit an inquiry form. That inquiry form then triggers me to contact you and schedule some time to speak with myself in regards to the program and receive an application. Applications are not available online currently. And yeah, so that is what you will need to do in order to proceed on this program. So with all of that, I realize I provided a lot of information to all of you. So do feel free to please enter your questions into the chat box and I will take a look at them. And respond on here. How many jobs? So Danielle, you asked, how many jobs is the company allowed to complete yearly? Uh, so if your company tells us we're going to do 4 jobs in year 1, you get going and let's say you just found some really great hires. You realize you wanted to have 3 salespeople and 2 line chefs for a total of 5 people instead of the planned 4. Let us know that and we will amend the contract so that way you can get credit for those full 5 positions. Similarly, if you told us you were going to hire 4 people that first year, things happen, be in contact with us. Let us know that that's what's going to happen. We're not saying let us know in month 11, let us know in, month 8 or something. So that way we know this is happening. And again, we can amend the contract so that way you're not losing out on that employment position funding. Because if you told us you're going to hire 4 people and you do not contact us prior to the end of year 1 and you do only hire those 3 employment positions, then you will only receive the funding for the 3. And then the next year, when you say you're going to hire 4 people, again, you actually will need to hire 5 people because you'll have to make up from the year previously as well. So just to kind of give you an idea of how those numbers can fluctuate. The key with this program, and honestly, any program with the city of Austin, is just making sure you are in constant contact with those that are running the program so that we can keep contracts and things fluid. We know businesses shift, economies shift, changes happen, and we don't want you to get caught in a weird situation as a result of it. So we had a question about the eligibility for this program. You must have your business located within the Austin city limits. You must be on your property tax bill paying City of Austin property tax in order for you to qualify for this program. So if you are in, just Travis County, you are not eligible for this program. Travis County currently has its economic development programs on hold, but those will hopefully be coming online again in the next year or so, I think is their plan. But don't hold me to that. And so there will be programs available to those that are not located within City of Austin limits for not paying City of Austin. And then Jonathan, I'm just reading your message. Um, if you're growing your business, hiring additional employees to help you service your clientele, if you're looking at expanding your business, then yes, you will could qualify for this program. We would need to talk a bit more. Um, but the fact that you are, losing some money when you're helping people out, things like gas money, that sort of thing. That is not a program, that is not an area that this program um, contributes to. This program is for those that are um, hiring employees into their business. Mhm. All right. Does healthcare include not only group insurance, but also something like ICHIRA, individual coverage health reimbursement programs? Yes, it definitely can. Again, we are very happy to discuss all types of healthcare options. I know there is one I was discussing with a company where they have worked with a local urgent care to create a program where at a low cost to them, they can go to the urgent care anytime they have an issue. Usually urgent cares can get quite pricey, as we all know. Um, but so we'll look at and consider any sort of healthcare plan as long as there's some type of healthcare available to employees. It would really just be if you just flat out say there is no stipend, no facilitation of any type of healthcare that we would not include that. Um, Jonathan, I'm not sure. I just saw your message saying you just put your headphones on. Um, I do not think you would qualify. Do feel free though to drop me a inquiry form, and I am happy to have a call with you to discuss further. But just quickly reading through the statement you provided to me, I do not think that your company will likely qualify unless you are hiring additional employees into your company. Danielle, your question is for hiring staff, can we use staffing agencies? So I know that staffing agencies can work in a array of ways. If that person is fully employed via the staffing agency, so the staffing agency covers things like their health benefits or covers things is the one that actually pays them and you are not shown as paying the employees, then no, they will not count. That's considered more of a consulting sort of position. But if this, is more of a recruiting agency that is helping bring employees to you, um, and maybe that first 6 months or something, I know different recruiting agencies have different terms that they work under. Uh, and then things transition over to you once they've completed their probationary period. That is definitely something we can discuss, as long as eventually the cost of healthcare and um, their wages come directly from the company that you work for. Contractors do not count. We had a question about contractors. Contractors do not count, as typically contractors do not receive any type of benefit. If your contractors are receiving benefits, they are not actually contractors under IRS law, if I remember correctly. We had a question on the apprenticeship program. Is it based on a period of time, enrollment? Uh, what is the length of employment required, as we know how the Austin employee market is now with retaining employees? So when it comes to the apprenticeship program, uh, the apprenticeship program can be up to 3 years. So if you have an apprenticeship program that is a 1 year program or a 6 month program, we're happy to discuss that. And then if the apprentice does not complete that program, however, they leave before it finishes, they will not count towards receiving the funding for the apprenticeship position. Um, I am happy to chat with you a bit more offline about that. We have not, this is a brand new separate program that was created in October when we updated the business expansion program. So there may be areas of the apprenticeship program that we didn't have a keen eye on when we were working through it. So happy to schedule something with you, Jim. Uh, kind of talk through any of those sort of questions on the apprenticeship. Um, yeah, and so Jonathan, yes, please do contact me. Please do submit the inquiry form. That is the quickest way to get a hold of me. Just because those have a set time I've got to respond to them on. So sometimes those go to the top of my inbox before other things do, unfortunately. All right. All right. We have an example here that somebody has asked. Um, currently, I am the only person. Um, I have one current LLC owned by myself and one more person. Then we are trying to expand, but establishing new LLC, which owners are myself and new partner. Is this eligible? We would need to look over the business document plans and how the LLCs are being structured. Some of them are fairly straightforward, and it's easy to see that yes, you went from owner A having 51% and owner B having 49% under this LLC. And now, because of reason X, it's now owner A has 49% and owner B has 51%. Um, we are happy to look at that with you. I will not say yes, hard yes, on that for sure. But that is one of those business planning areas that we are happy to discuss. It's the case that to the general public, let's say it's, restaurant A that's been in downtown Austin for 10 years and you are just changing the ownership structure. It's still going to be restaurant A the day after the LLC changes. To the general public, it wouldn't appear anything has changed. So in that situation, we would be like, okay, that works. That works fine. But again, we know situations can be different for each different type of business. Great. Well, that appears to be the last of questions. Does anybody have any additional questions? I'll give everybody a couple minutes to type in any last questions. Um, but again, thank you all very much for joining uh, today's call. We really appreciate it. Um, you have my email address, but again, we do ask that you please submit an inquiry form on our website. It just helps us keep track of everything, do the government side of everything that we need to do to keep these programs running.